What the devil are we? I'm Matt, and we're back with NewsNation. This time it's back to UFOs, and it's Age of Disclosure. Anyone who doesn't know what Age of Disclosure is, it's basically a documentary that's been around for a while, that's not really been released to the general public, that is got a lot of military officials, ex-politicians, current politicians, talking about the fact that there's been an 80-year cover-up. Let's take a look.
This is so secret. There have been very few people in our entire government that have been allowed or provided access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis.
People have been hurt protecting and hiding this information.
Some people claim it would cost them their lives if they spoke out about these things.
Information being locked away that could change the trajectory for a species.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
If it's real.
Tantalizing, right? Joining me now is the director and producer, Dan Farah. Dan, congratulations on the project.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Non-human intelligence. Must that mean little green men?
Always the same. Goes back to, I think he's doing it on purpose because NewsNation's been all over this topic more than any other news outlet. But I think the stigma has always been around little green men, but it's obviously not.
No. I made a point of making sure this doc didn't sensationalize the topic at all. We stayed super grounded. We kept it very real. The 34 military, government, intelligence officials I interviewed all broke their silence to reveal that there's been an 80-year cover-up of the existence of non-human intelligent life. And moreover, that the United States is engaged in a high-stakes secret Cold War race with adversarial nations to reverse.
80 years is 1940s, so would that coincide with Roswell? So it seems like Roswell was the instigator for all things cover-up? So they did actually retrieve a crashed UFO, including bodies. And since then, the cover-ups ensued.
Reverse engineer technology of non-human origin, and the stakes couldn't be higher for this situation. And everyone I interviewed felt it was time to break their silence with what they could lawfully disclose, tell the public what they know that can be shared legally, and do it arm in arm with other credible people in a way that's safe.
Yeah, it's weird though when you think about this 80-year cover-up. How many people must have been involved in a cover-up that lasted 80 years? Must be in the thousands, if not tens of thousands. Because I can't imagine, unless there's like a small scientific group that is really under tight control, with maybe one or two officials that the knowledge gets handed down. So you've got a little room somewhere, maybe even an underground bunker somewhere. You've got a fly saucer, UFO, egg shape, whatever they are these days. And then you've got a small group of scientists that have got access to trying to crack how those things work and then reverse engineer. And then you've got a small number of military officials that somehow filter the budgets for those things. So they've got the money. And also, because they're not going to live forever over the last 80 years, they must hand down that knowledge to transition from one official to the other. I can't imagine how it would work on that scale. I really couldn't.
Frame what the context is for people to look at this when they hear non-human intelligence life, lack of disclosure, cover up. What should people be coming into this with what they want answered?
I think we're at a point where the public should become aware of the base facts, that fundamental truths have been hidden from us for 80 years, that massive amounts of tax dollars are being put towards a project that no one has any visibility into. There's no congressional oversight. It's kept from the president.
Got a point. How much money of the taxpayers' money must have gone in to these programs over 80 years? Trillions of billions or trillions of dollars over 80 years have gone into secret programs, allegedly, of reverse engineering UAP, keeping it secret. There could have been crimes committed, which is unlawful projects being spun up with no Congress oversight, people being intimidated, maybe witnesses unalived for the algorithm. You just don't know. It's a very curious situation where I can imagine governments don't want to come out with disclosure, because then they'd have to come out and say these are also the crimes that we committed. Not just the technology that we want to keep hidden and reverse engineered for ourselves, but these are the crimes that we have to admit to.
And since the stakes impact all of us, there should be a base level of transparency. I think what I hope to see happen is for this to become the serious national conversation it deserves to be, and for people, the average person, the public, to demand transparency from the government, and for us to quickly get to a place where a sitting president steps to the podium and tells the world we are in fact not the only intelligent life in the universe.
I can't imagine this day and age that would even work. Let's be honest, right? I've done a couple of videos over the last week around Epstein, the files. Everyone's aware of it, right? I'm in the UK, but it's become a global thing. The Epstein files, who's involved? Is Trump involved? You know, whose names are in there? But then if Trump came to the podium tomorrow and said, right, I want to put a press conference out, and people are like, oh, I wonder what he's got to say. It's probably around the Epstein files, maybe, or Venezuela, or anything that's going on at the minute. And then he comes out and says, there's been an 80-year cover-up about the existence of non-human intelligence, and it's real, and it's genuine. And I'm here to tell you that we are not alone. 50% of the public will go, right, it's just a distraction from the Epstein files, or it's a distraction from something. The other 50% will probably go, okay, so we're not alone in the universe. I've probably still got my bills to pay tomorrow. And yeah, I'm being made redundant and the world's shit and the cost of living's gone through the roof. So I think even if he came out tomorrow, would it have that impact that people are imagining it would have? I think for the community that's in the UFO space, people like me who's got a real genuine interest and has done for 30 plus years, I think it'll be massive. It'll be groundbreaking. It'll be something that we've wanted for so long. I think for the rest of the population, it'll just be, it's a distraction, it's a lie, don't believe it. Or, yeah, so what difference is it going to make? I'm going to work tomorrow.
That we have, in fact, recovered craft of non-human origin, that other countries have as well, and that we are in a high-stakes technology race that is essentially the atomic race on steroids, and the U.S. intends to lead that way.
So it's saying that other countries are also involved in reverse engineering UFOs. That means that those countries would have to be involved in cover-ups, and I'm not saying the big ones like Russia, China. You can think about Australia, Great Britain, Germany, France. Some of the other nations would have to be involved in this. Japan. So it's not just a US phenomenon; it's a global phenomenon. But I can imagine that another country, an adversary of the US, would say, yes, we've got evidence that the US have got reverse engineered UAP. The reason being is because surely that would destabilize them, because everyone would be like, show us the tech, and it's not a secret anymore. They can't do it in secret. So the fact that they haven't, is that not alluding to the fact that it's probably not happening?
Do you believe that it is about technology, or do you believe it is about extraterrestrial life forms sending things here?
Don't say the word extraterrestrial.
I think that we're dealing with technology made by non-human intelligent life, whether that is extraterrestrial or has been here all along or come here some other way is yet to be determined. But the people in my film go on the record about retrievals of crashed craft that had non-human bodies in them, some intelligent life that was not human.
Yeah, it's got to be careful, because I think when they were trying to push for disclosure by Congress, by, like Anna Paulina Luna, Burchett, it became clear that if you use specific terms, then people could say, yes, we've got no evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, because that means these life forms are developed on a different planet. What it doesn't allude to is interdimensional or a natural phenomenon or interterrestrial, like in the deep oceans. So just got to be careful. I think using NHI is probably the right way of going about talking about non-human intelligence as part of the phenomenon.
Multiple people in the film talk about how the recoveries have included different types of bodies, so implying different species. So there's no reason to assume we're talking about one other form of life. It's more likely that the universe is full of life, and we are now realizing that.
Yeah, I think quite a few witnesses over the years have come across and said, you've got the greys, the typical greys, the teardrops eyes, the teardrop shaped heads. You've got the reptilians, you've got the Nordics. God knows, there's probably a dozen, if not more, species that have been witnessed by people over the last 80 years.
Well, I got to tell you, NewsNation has been all over this, and I believe for the right reasons. We're not pushing any hype. We believe that they know things and that the government works for the people, not vice versa. And I appreciate the provocativeness of this project. It is an impressive roster of voices you have on it. One of the few things I think that if they come with an open mind will be satisfying to both sides in terms of what the right questions are and what's been answered and isn't. And
I always thought about that. It's like any sitting president. With everything that's going on with Trump, getting over there with Putin and Zelensky trying to stop the war in Ukraine, the potential war in Venezuela, which is looking more and more likely, ICE and everything else that's going on domestically, Epstein files, it's like, would you now release evidence of non-human intelligence with all that shit going on? Or would you think that there needs to be stability before you even think about releasing something like NHI evidence to the general public? Would you use it as a distraction? Because people would then... It might actually work, because I don't think it's a distraction, but if you come out and said, yeah, NHI is real, and then people go, oh, it's a distraction, at least in 10 years when it becomes evident that it's real, you go, we did tell you. You just chose not to believe us.
And I think you did that very well, and I applaud you for it, and you're always welcome here to discuss what comes next.
Thank you. Yeah, I to double down on that, I was shocked to see how this was truly the most bipartisan issue of our time. Leaders from both parties. I interviewed Rubio on the same day that I interviewed Senator Gillibrand from New York, and they both looked me in the face and told me they thought this was profoundly important.
That's an important thing, that you've got leaders on both sides that are usually, on opposites of everything, but there's a shared collective belief that there is something to this topic and there needs to be more disclosure and more transparency, which is a positive.
I agree with them. Finally, our politicians are right, and they agree about something that they should. Dan Farah, thank you very much. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching The Edge of Disclosure, but I did see an episode of That UFO podcast, which is really good. Go and check them out. And somebody got an early advanced viewing of the documentary, and they basically came out and said it's talking head after talking head, meaning it's a lot of witness interviews, which is really interesting and really important. But there weren't any, don't expect any video evidence or something that, videos, pictures that you've never seen before. There's this big smoking gun evidence, because there's none of that in there. It's just more testimony and witness interviews. So look forward to seeing it when it's out. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one. You take care.